Kuzu Zampola, and good morning to you all. Today we have gathered here in this very auspicious venue, Jamalimitang ground, to do a podcast on Women's National League. It is mainly oriented towards knowing the women's footballers. So I am your host Tanwachu, and I am here today with Sunita Rai, who is currently playing as a left winger in Transport United Ladies. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you so much.
So you have been playing for football for 7 years, Mola. So could you talk about yourself and something about your club also?
I started playing football around when I was 14 or 15, but officially I wasn't selected in academy in 2017, and I played there for 3 years. And after that, the first club that I joined was Women Academy, and currently the next club is Transport United Ladies, and it's been running 7 years since I started playing football. And first, I was just an athlete. I hadn't had some interest in playing football, but I had some interest, but myself, I didn't saw some potential in me. So potential in me, and at first I was just an athlete, and my coach preferred me to please give it a try in football. As football, he feels mostly it is a running game. A player has to play mostly by
running.
Yes, so he thought that I had some potential, so I gave it a try, and due to which I got selected into national in academic 2017.
So what kind of athlete were you? Were you a sprinter, 100-meter race, or
I was a sprinter?
You were a sprinter. So I also heard that you used to play football with boys.
Yes.
So how was it when you were playing with boys? Was it challenging? Maybe?
Yes. Despite girls, obviously the playing with boys was more challenging. Despite the physical and all, the boys were better.
Were there people saying that girls shouldn't play football, or when you played with boys, or was it
No. During
normal?
my times, no. I think there wasn't any stereotypical thoughts about people saying that you shouldn't play with boys, you're a girl, you should focus on studies and all. I think at my times there wasn't such stereotypical thoughts.
So it was a smooth sail.
Yes.
Yeah. So listening to your story, it was quite your coach guided you to become a football player, Mola.
Yes.
Did you have any inspiration to become a football player? If it wasn't for your coach, would you have become a football player? What I meant to say.
It would have taken some time, but yes, obviously I would have been a footballer. But time take baby almost, that's better.
Because you said earlier that you used to watch boys play football,
Yes.
so you had a keen interest towards playing football. No? It's quite an interesting story. So moving on, what is your favorite food?
My favorite food.
Out of nowhere, question.
My favorite food is that all the Bhutanese like kewa.
Kewa. Emadachi?
Yes.
Kewa mo kewa. Emadachi, kewa. Anything else?
I like mostly the fried things, fried ones.
CFC?
Yes.
We don't have KFC right now, so
Yes.
it's CFC. So do you do American food as well?
Not that much compared to the Bhutanese. Yes.
So you prefer Bhutanese food more?
Yes. Because we have been brought up like that, so like
yes. What about Nepali food? Do you like Nepali food?
Nepali food. Yes, a little.
What was cell roti?
Cell roti and all.
Alaram.
Yes.
That's quite tasty. No? So apart from that, let's move on to other questions. So everyone has like some influential person in their life, mala. Everyone has. So who is your most influential person in who made an impact in like football, in your footballing career?
My Appa.
Appa. Why is it?
I feel that he is the most hardworking person I've ever seen. So, seeing how hard he works and the difficult times he have been through, I involved in games so that through which I'll be able to make a career and help him.
So one of his like best attributes like was working hard, which basically inspired you more, and you want your upper to lean on to you when, be it financially or emotionally. So you want to be that person, more strong mentally and physically as well. That's quite like formidable notion, which I admire. So moving on, it's a kind of a funny question that everyone might ponder about it, but which came first, the chicken or the egg? It's gonna be quite simple.
Hearing on to the people's thoughts, I feel that the egg came first.
Egg came first.
Because scientifically it's proven that the protein, the thing that contains,
okay.
it's only found in eggs. So I think.
So it is impossible for if the egg does not exist, the chicken would not exist because of the special protein the egg is able to form.
Yes.
Quite thoughtful analysis regarding this paradoxical question. Apart from that, let's move on from the paradoxical question. So, moving on, like you play at a highest level of football, women's football, Mona. So there is enormous pressure that you have to deal with. So how do you deal with this kind of a pressure?
I reflect on the efforts that we have, efforts and the hard work that we have put upon to reach that level, so that every human beings are same, due to which if they can, so why not we? So I think that the hard work disu the gam jab khale hard work disu the baby ugyan ni osum disu tang lang chi devra di he me san place na lu ha hard work pe effort disu chu vidam chi place na he with the chi we just need to step forward and create a strong mentality and just now
so
pressure.
How you deal with the pressure is like the past experience, you build up a strong, fortified mental. That's kind of like good notion. So now moving on now. What is your pre-game ritual? 100 times squatting.
Pre-game ritual the money jam.
It's quite religious people.
Yes.
You know what? Sometimes we release living up to our old traditions.
Yes, stereotypical notion.
What about like your morning ritual?
Actually, the morning routine, it's ordinary person's meal, the same meal.
Usually come to know when.
Usually, the thing actually training in the 6 na.
So usually on the training days you work about 6 months, and off season na
10, 9 this na.
10, 9, but you still work out more.
Yes.
Every day consistent, that's good. what is your favorite shoe boot ki color la?
Color se mila. Chili mili genta mila gachi thopchi.
Guys, thopchi you don't
Specific pe mila.
Specific like any favorite color like
Favorite black jealous.
dark color yeah.
Yes.
And that's good lah. So like usually like when you play on a high level sports you are like bombarded with like insults mala. So, and insults with the like have you ever turned your insult into strength, something like is there any sort of insult that you like that you keep in and it fuels you la in the football field?
Insult the rugi as she weak thome azum lam ne bala te week thon na some delay ari dodalo ngai kachno mezo chindi ani give speed at improve chi sunala kas at the mutela chindi jubi so isal no te thing was at bere da kogi isali ani misno
how reverse type be something like kind of like
rugi thi dola thin indigi di jusu bete anzun channel
there gets to kongi the imply being the you are thin and
yes.
It's a weak base but you being thin you are agile by movement quite contradicting. Nice la. Best compliment la.
Thank you.
Best compliment that you have received from your rivals or
best compliment I wish I was you labianzum type na loni.
So you feel like
despite other the kamchi footballer disillusion see me but why only me the handsome question mark chion wala then the kongi ongalu ati potential chi thoni digi yansi my regime chi ben digi rangalu ati kongi role model be chaja do so they want to be like me so I feel that that's the best compliment
on the topic of like compliment mala what do you want to say to like all the new young women football players sula like some sort of inspirational quote you want to say something to them la?
If there is a will there is a will and rangi the any genuine interest the rangi heart knowledge the bego beni la which bendi rangi the ani we digatele ani bishops namalangai we thoughts namalangai the rangi interest me just the rangi khagi chamchi beni selap chamchi ani bio de achindi ani myo we diso the rangi genuine interest ke the beni selap achindi we gatele che thobe rangi dream this kon ke bishops namalangai
anding agi bilipions it's quite like numgi ani remember life ki philosophy randi then numgi like Facebook pages una quite a positive and motivational quotes that you remember in the post so is there any specific reasons like is it to motivate yourself or to motivate others? Is there any purpose like purpose?
Win-win situation la try motivate then they roy motivate bini se anzo no be motive te anzo
dida numgi like 7 years has no football TV so is there any social interest apart from football? Do you have any other interest?
Interest reading books.
Reading books.
Dance the amcha mishi devere ani toji dom bala rai ani kani it's a dance this so it's toy.
Are you interested in TikToking?
Yeah.
Fortunate. The Numgi any YouTube channel? Are you like interested in content creating?
Atsirena.
In the future, when you move forward in your life, what do you aspire to be like? When do you want to continue your football career, or do you want to like pursue something else when in the future?
I want to continue as a coach. because amchi the chungkaler football che bio knowledge tiso amchi thobede the luti rangi best the chungkaler pechta bio the luti teacher bio chi bindi jik thomala tera the chungkaler football che bio the coach bio chi that's better knowledge ma mombala te youth tislo impart baby ani men sitan bindi coach bio story
coach people like capitalize when morangi yamagi preceding knowledge is current part pe the guslo football the horizons widen bin around say yeah and like quite expected more that's then the as like davani numdi football team am chasing like davani football like come to experience mo numdi Pendigi, what do you think? Like football na that are like youngsters to get in scope do ya?
Youngsters the so
Young football players get in scope do ya?
Do so na kasan that sense that the himma de amchi ma dhamma long time na the watching the ani grassroots na lera and this player this groom be shame wala they and con facilitation din dele professional ani tactics wise and it's a professional do hema de anza madala chi just the grassroots level ya cha be mawla chi direct the raw player and chiga be ani boim bala azum da to generation zum da ko grassroots an naja play and training this legime jin it's a professional be do la dhyan bindi da to the football de it's a khong din ani national future na kam chi khongi football as a career we take be large binti and do so
quite opportunity bomb
advantage
like for some players malano like it's not for all of them like whom do you think it is not for them like are they like have you felt in a certain way that certain players would like it's not for them like have you felt that way any specific reasons for
specific football football
some sugidi like like they are like pursuing and they might not reach the highest level so have you ever felt like this like for other players
no langzumte karagi bero ani landi open game and building genuine interest but this was
like due to the time restriction mola da last question Last question say Mona, do you have anything to say to your fans
fans surda binra pomdisulu anila the football the to be watching the butan the chinku beru the government gi facilities this so lijum jini tribal bala the so the chip the kamchi sera butan the chinku be nem chinku be gan the any facilities this that to kamchi jinsu jini tribe to financially be poor achi bum this monthly salary this one be jin azum encourage be tribe me bola then bindigi football the to the professional career be take be watching the now the future na scope and lijum chi is normal
that was like beautiful message mola machi country lua ani kisa huge support not only that mola ngachi kisa youngster ki delne huge opportunities shumla so that gislo davani that concludes our episode la podcast first women's national league podcast and Joyce Shunila so the following days now we are going to continue with other teams ki prodigies suchika podcast continue be on Shunila thank you
for having me thank you
la